What if AI isn't saving you time? Not because it's not powerful enough, but because you're using it the exact same way as everybody else. Welcome to Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Join us as we dive deep with the world's leading digital marketing experts every single Tuesday. It's all about giving you the strategies that are working right now, directly from those who are making an impact. With my 20 years of experience, I'm here to help you navigate the world of digital marketing. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills or transform your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started on today's journey to success. AI is everywhere right now. I know you've probably used it. You've opened ChatGPT, asked it to write a caption, maybe an email, maybe a blog outline. And for a second, it feels like, okay, this is going to make my life so much easier. Then you read what it gives you and realize, well, now you have to fix it. Welcome back to this week's episode. We're going to be diving into the world of AI. I get it. We've had to fix it. You have to clean up the tone, change the phrasing, make it sound like you, and then you have to figure out whether it even makes sense for your business. So yes, it helped, but did it really save you that much time? And for most people, not really. So that's the part that I think we need to talk about more, because a lot of people are saying they use AI, but what they really mean is that they're using it to speed up the first draft. And trust me, that's not nothing. A first draft is better than a blank page, but if that's all AI is doing for you, then you're still doing the heavy lifting. You're still carrying the strategy, the decisions, the editing, the execution, and the mental load. So today I want to talk about the shift I think more business owners need to make, because there's a huge difference between using AI as a content tool and using AI like a CEO. One gives you more stuff to manage. The other actually gives you some breathing room back. And if AI has felt helpful but not life-changing, I think this is why. So let's just call it what it is. Most people are using AI like it's Google, just faster and a little more polished. They ask it a question, it gives them an answer, then they go back to doing all the work themselves. They use it for ideas, they use it for captions, they use it to summarize, they use it to draft. And again, don't get me wrong, none of that is bad. I've said this many times, to use AI as a partner, as an assistant, but it's come a long way. And I think a lot of people have gotten comfortable in this role that they have with AI. And the problem is that most people never move past that assistant coworker phase. They say what I call an ask and receive mode. And when that's how you use AI, it really doesn't change your workload that much. It just changes how you get started, which, again, don't get me wrong, is a great thing to have. But that's a huge difference, because if AI helps you brainstorm 5 content ideas, but you still have to decide which one matters, how it fits into your offer, what platform it should go on, well, AI really didn't remove the task, did it? It just gave you a slightly faster jumping off point. And I see this all the time with content. Honestly, that's why a lot of content on social media is sounding really boring lately. That's why I left social media for the first quarter of 2026, because I found a lot of the social media content was really boring out there. Sometimes I hear it time and time again. Someone says, I use AI to write my posts for the week. Okay. But then what? You still had to rewrite the captions. You still had to decide whether they actually matched your messaging. You still had to pick the visuals, schedule the content, and make sure the post was leading somewhere. And that's why so many people are saying AI is cool, but they're not seeing this massive payoff. They're still the bottleneck. AI is helping them think faster, but it's not changing the fact that everything is still running through them. And if you're a business owner, that's exhausting, because your problem usually is not that you don't know what to do. Your problem is that there's too many little things pulling at your attention all day long, too many distractions, too many repetitive tasks, too many things that need to get done that don't actually require your best thinking, but still somehow eat up the majority of your energy anyways. Honestly, and that's why I think the conversation has to change. The opportunity with AI is not just better answers, it's a better way of operating. And that's where things are getting interesting for me. What I'm seeing now is that AI is starting to move beyond being something that just spits out words. It's becoming something that actually supports how you work, not replace your judgment, not magically run your business for you while you disappear, to the Bahamas for 2 weeks, but support the day-to-day decisions and tasks that keep so many business owners stuck on that hamster wheel, stuck in the weeds. And that might look like helping you draft emails in your actual tone so that you're not starting from scratch every time. It might look like helping you review what's on your plate and figure out what really matters today instead of reacting to whatever feels the loudest. That's a very different relationship with AI. And it might look like turning your ideas into a plan faster, helping you prep for meetings, or helping you pressure test a decision before you make it. That right there is a very different relationship with AI. And at that point, it stops being this thing that you occasionally open when you need a clever caption. It starts becoming something that supports you as the business owner. It helps you not only just get thought onto the screen, it helps you move through the day-to-day tasks of your business. And that matters because most business owners don't need more information. You already have more information than you probably know what to do with. You probably already have the Notes app full of content ideas, half-finished offers, voice notes, random thoughts, podcast topics, and things you swear you're going to turn into something someday. The issue isn't lack of ideas, it's lack of capacity. And it's that there's only so many hours in the day that your brain can only hold on to so many open tabs before everything starts to feel heavier than it should. And this is why this shift with AI is so important. We're actually going to do an entire 4-part series. This is part 1. We're going to do an entire 4-part series on making that shift from having AI be your replacement for Google to being one of your employees, one of your taskmasters. Because once AI starts supporting your execution instead of just giving you an output, you stop opening your laptop at 0 every day. You stop feeling like every task begins with a blank page. You start with momentum. You start with context. You start with something that's already in motion. And for a CEO, that is so important. CEOs, business owners are not using AI to make more noise. They're using it to create more capacity. And this is the mindset shift that I really want you to hear. Most entrepreneurs are using AI just to make more content, more captions, more ideas. There are more posts online now on social media than ever before, but engagement and interactions is at the lowest it's ever been. Why? Well, it's because everyone can spit out a bunch of terrible generic content on social media, and who really wants to engage with more boring white noise? And I get it. Having AI help you with creating content like social posts, more emails, more blogs, I get it. It feels like you're being productive. It feels like you're finally catching up. It feels like you're doing more in less time. But really, are you looking for more noise? Don't you want more leads, more sales, more business? As a business owner, don't you want to have more room to think clearly, more room to make better decisions, more room to focus on the sales, the leadership, the visibility, the relationships, the strategy? That is the difference. If AI is only helping you make more things, you can still end up overwhelmed. In fact, sometimes more output just creates more things to manage. More drafts to review, more ideas to sort through, more content to post, more pieces to keep moving. But when AI removes friction, simplifies repeated tasks, and can help carry a little bit of that mental load, that's when it starts to become more valuable in a completely different way. So think about your week. How much of it is spent on things that you've done 100 times before, writing follow-ups, preparing for meetings, reviewing and tweaking content, repeating the same explanation in emails or DMs, turning one idea into several pieces of content, figuring out how to word something a certain way? Those are the places where AI should be helping. Not because you're lazy, not because you can't do those things, but because doing them over and over and over is not the best use of your time. Sean, tells me this. My COO tells me this all the time. That is not the best use of your time. And I think sometimes as business owners, we feel, if we admit that we're not pulling our share. Like if AI helps with those things, somehow that's cutting corners. But let me say this again. You're not cutting corners. You are building leverage. And frankly, that is what a CEO is supposed to do. A CEO is not supposed to personally handle every repetitive task forever. That's not leadership. That's survival mode. And a lot of smart, capable entrepreneurs are still stuck there. They're using AI, but they're using it in a survival mode way. They're trying to use it to keep up, not actually level up. And that's why I think this is so important. AI is not just a fun tool to play with, which it can be sometimes, but it is an opportunity to stop operating like everything has to run through you every second of the day. So let's talk about what this actually looks like in the real world. Imagine your day, and instead of opening your laptop and immediately feeling like you got to check emails, you got to do this, you're already behind, you already know what matters. You know which emails need your attention. You know what meetings you need to prep for. You know what the pressure points are in your day. You know what actually deserves your energy and what can wait. Now imagine that instead of writing every email from scratch, you're reviewing drafts that already sound like you, not stiff corporate garbage, not obvious AI copy, your tone, your style, your way of saying things. Now imagine that your content works the same way. You're not looking at generic advice that could belong to anybody. You're looking at posts that sound like you. They have your core messaging. They know your offers. Because let's be honest, some of the hardest parts of running a business is not the work itself. It is the constant decision making, the mental switching. It's the fact that you're holding marketing, sales, delivery, content, leadership, and growth all in your brain at once. And this is where that support is so important. And I think that that's the part that most people miss when they're talking about AI. They focus so much on what it can generate, but not enough on what it can reduce, not enough on what it can simplify, not enough on how it can lighten the load in a practical way. The goal is not to have AI do everything. The goal is to stop doing everything the hard way. Play smarter in the systems, not just prompts. If you're listening to this and you're wondering, this all sounds great, but I don't even know where to begin. Here's my advice. Do not start with trying to automate your entire business. Do not start with some giant, complicated workflow. And honestly, don't even start with content. Start with your anti-to-do list. Ask yourself this question. What are the things I do every single week that I never want to do again? That is such a better starting point. So what drains your energy? What do you procrastinate on? What feels repetitive? What takes more mental energy than it should? What do you keep manually doing even though it feels like there should be an easy way? Maybe it's that first draft of emails. Maybe it's following up after calls. Maybe it's organizing your ideas. That's where AI starts becoming genuinely helpful. So here's the big takeaway from today. And like I said, this is part 1 of a 4-part series that we're going to really narrow down how to have AI start helping you, not just generate more junk. So if you're using it only for captions, for drafts, for ideas, you're still in the shallow end of the pool. Is it helpful? Yes, you can you can still see everything. It's better than nothing, but it's not transformative for your business. The bigger opportunity is how to use AI to reduce friction, remove repeat tasks, support your thinking, and create more capacity. That is the shift. And the business owners who figure out this shift early and how to start automating these tasks are going to move faster than the ones that are still using AI like a fancier Google search. So before the next episode, I want you to do one thing. Make a list of 3 things that you do every single week that you never want to do again. Not someday, not when you hire a team, not that you can have your team do right now. Those 3 things are your starting point. Because in the next episode, it's going to get fun. We are going to talk about how to train AI to think more like you, not just write like you. And that's where this starts getting really practical because better outputs do not come from luck. They come from better context. And if this episode got you thinking differently about how you're using AI, make sure you are subscribed to the show subscribe, leave a review. It helps more than you know. And if you're ready to take your marketing to that next step, head over to nextstepsocial.com and learn more about how we help business owners grow with smarter, more strategic marketing. Here's the question I want to leave you with. If AI could think more like you and take more off your plate, what would you finally have more time to do? Until next week, keep your marketing smart, strategic, and always on trend. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.